Welcome back to the Up and Downs. Pretty scrappy game we just saw. A lot of back and forth action. We're going to take a look, of course, at our standings in the group and let you guys know where everybody is and who's likely to get out. So far, DRG leads the pack 2-0.
DRG leads, and if he actually takes the game that he has to play against Fantasy later, then he will advance to the Premier League. Don't be confused, he still has a game against Yu-Gi-Oh! And if he wins that, he's not automatically in the Premier League. It all comes down to who you won against right now, what kind of possible tiebreakers we could have. Yu-Gi-Oh! At the bottom of the ranks finds himself in an 0-2 spot, and the only chance for him to advance at all today is if he wins the 2 remaining games and ends up in a tiebreaker.
Yep. We have a Protoss versus Protoss coming up a little bit later. Our final match of the day will be the ZVZ if it comes to that. And you're so right, you know, if you tie with the guy who lost to you, then you're in a good position. But if you tie with the guy who beat you, then that's when things get shaky.
While we're currently waiting for the next game to start, there's one thing that I want to put your attention to. If you jump on Reddit, actually, we have a new song of Tempo. Tempo, you might remember him from having one of the best StarCraft 2 songs, if not the best StarCraft 2 song ever that he created, When I'm Grandmaster. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then it's like, whoa, wait a second. Jump on YouTube and search for When I'm Grandmaster. Check that out. Definitely the best StarCraft song ever made, in my opinion.
Just you know what you should do is just search Tempo SC2 or just Tempo SC, I guess it is, and you'll find a lot of good videos, good songs.
And if you go to Reddit right now on the front page, he actually released a new one. I haven't heard it just yet, but apparently it's supposed to be great. It's called the Dong Song. So that's going to be really funny. Check that out. Search for When I'm Grandmaster. Check out his new song as well.
Yeah, look at that stuff. Definitely somebody I would love to bring more light to. One of those guys who just does a lot of fun, awesome stuff for us here. And
great character in the community.
Yeah.
And what you should also do is just jump on Twitter and add the two of us, at ProxyWolf and myself, at Kaldor.
Yeah.
Make that while we're waiting for the next game to start. Tell us what exactly you think about the games today. Who do you want to advance? We're always happy to receive a little bit of feedback. Also let us know what you thought about the cast today so far. We are going into another game in just a few seconds, and we have Trap going up against Squirtle right now.
Yeah, the order earlier listed, of course, was incorrect. This is going to be the Protoss versus Protoss right now. Trap up against Squirtle. I'm really excited for this one because Protoss versus Protoss is just one of those deadly, scary, aggressive matchups where even if it goes late game, there's so much tension. You know, one mistake with your Colossi, one bad position, and the whole game ends. We go super late, you even start to see Tempest in there. DTs could be a factor. Both of these guys have shown in the past they're up to anything in PvP.
And we are going into the game right away here at the Up and Downs. Group number D with Kaldor and Wolf jumping into the game between Squirtle and Trap here at GOMTV. And starting to the bottom left in blue, the water Pokemon. No, it's not. It's actually
STX Sword Trap.
Production didn't know what to do with that one.
Yeah.
They were like, well, I mean,
today is the day where I screw up introductions. It's horrible. Yeah.
Something sexy about a 10 kilos keyboard like that one.
Starting to the top right in our PvP, we have Protoss player for LGIM.
LGIM Squirtle.
Squirtle. Used to be a Startail player. Rocking the Zowie keyboard. And let's see what happens here. Star Station, cross-spawn only map. And the funny thing about this type of map is it's a 4-player map that's a 2-player map. It's like 2 different 2-player maps in one because you either have a 2-player map like this, or of course if you switch the spawns, they're top left and bottom right. And the rush distance is quite far. But because it's a 2-player map, we see a very careful scout here by Trap. Wants to make sure there's no pylons down there, no proxies, no forges.
Oh yeah, proxy songs, proxy builds are actually like really strong on a map like this, and we see that every now and then, and especially in a best of 1 format, you want to make sure that it's not really what takes you out. So currently looking at this game, and let's talk a little bit about the statistics also that we have with the 2 players. We talked about Trap's amazing record in the Protoss versus Zerg, and as you can see, they have also a little bit of history. Back in the last Up and Downs, there was a match win for Squirtle. But looking at this game in particular for Trap, he has 15 maps played. Decent sample size, not the biggest, but for Heart of the Swarm, it's actually all okay if you focus on the offline games. Keep in mind that the win ratios that you see here on screen are more accomplishments that they had in StarCraft 2 in general. That does by no means reflect their current win ratio that we have in the matchups, because it also includes the Wings of Liberty statistics. But if you concentrate on Heart of the Swarm, you see Trap with 15 maps played all over the world, and he won 7 of them. That leaves him with a below 50% win ratio at 47. And Squirtle, on the other hand, with 23 maps played, so a few more maps than Trap himself played in this matchup, he has a 70% win ratio, which is actually quite incredible. So he's definitely a bit more the favorite if you just look at these stats, but in PvP anything can happen, and so of course only a little bit of an indicator of what the past history for both players looks like.
Yeah. I want to point out that Trap did something a little bit different with his mining. He had only 5 pros mining gas instead of 6. Gives him a little bit more minerals, as you can see on the screen right now. And also a Twilight Council going up here for Squirtle. And with that pylon at the bottom right of Squirtle's base, that alone just makes me feel like DTs, because he can use that as a warping point if he can't get his 4th pylon up for any reason. It could be either way. It really could. On this map, it's a great map for Blink. There's so much area to cover, really hard to defend.
And we're gonna see what exactly he's doing. He's already getting additional gateways up now. We currently see Blink coming in.
Blink, it
and
is.
We have the Robo now for his opponent. And with the robotics on the tap, it's always the question, how fast do you get those Immortals out? If you have 2 or 3 Immortals, you're in a decent position against Blink Stalkers, but if that Blink build hits you fast enough, then you are in a lot of trouble, and especially if you lose the initial Immortal to a good Blink.
You know, I don't like Blink Stalker builds in Pros versus Pros anymore, because they feel so... They're so slowed by the fact that Blink takes longer in Heart of the Swarm than it did in Wings of Liberty. This is, of course, because of the Mothership Core making it much easier to blink in the main base, so it's a way to balance that out. But it seems like nowadays people can hold with those Immortals. This one is a very fast one, though, and it's a 4 gateway Blink all in. So it's going to be much stronger than your very typical Blink build where you just try to get ahead. And it could work. It's all about the Immortal. He starts it first. He has an inkling of what's going on. He's trying to play super safe here.
I personally love Blink builds. I love to see them, I love to cast them, I love to watch those games fall out. And here we go already. We have the first units in position, and that Hallucination didn't do anything. So Hallucination not scouting what he wants to see. Doesn't get a good look into the main base either. The Blink is nearly completed. We have already the first Photon Overcharge baited out, but that could be the Blink into the main.
Yeah, I can't believe he walks down here. And that was such a premature overcharge on the Nexus. He didn't need to do that.
Oh my
God. Now
God.
he doesn't have enough for the...
He blinks in and force fields the ramp.
That's what he's got planned here. He's got that sentry ready. The longer he waits, the better chance of that Immortal coming up, but he'll focus it down instantly if he has this many Stalkers. Tanks here.
The Mothership Core with the time warp. Now he can go for the blink.
He can go for it. He blinks. And where's the force field?
Where's the force field? He doesn't use it yet.
There he goes.
Oh my God. And bye-bye Immortal. That Immortal won't be able to do anything here. And the Stalkers in the main base already attack. He doesn't kill it. He actually saves the Immortal. He doesn't want to commit into this position.
Really nicely done. If that Mothership Core goes down, he does not have high ground vision. No more high ground vision.
My God. Without the high ground
vision,
vision,
did he walk down?
In so much trouble.
I can't believe he thinks he should walk down here. That's like the only way the Squirtle can win. Squirtle can now trap him outside of his base and then kill a Nexus and transition. But, you know, he's getting enough time to get a 3rd Immortal. If he gets that 3rd Immortal, it doesn't matter where his units are.
Well, actually, he can just force field the ramp again, and he doesn't do it.
He doesn't. Oh, there, barely gets it. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was close, but that Immortal is not participating in the fight right now, and Squirtle is still going for it. He's down in supply already. Keep that expansion, of course, in mind. Squirtle has to do damage here. He's blinking away. He's getting those Immortals down in shields.
Down in shields, but the 3rd Immortal is out, and I think that's going to be it.
Too much firepower.
Way too much firepower. With the next round of Warpins, he should be able to hold here. He's pushing the Stalkers back. He's walking right into Warpin range. 3 Immortals, too much DPS here. The Zealot even participating in the fight.
He's trying, and he's actually taking down a lot of these units, but the Immortal survives. He survives with a 2nd Immortal. Oh my God, so well played by Trap here. What a defense. He holds, and he forces Squirtle back. Even with a blink, it's not enough.
Squirtle is dead right now. He's got nothing left. The Immortal Micro we saw here was beautiful, and it's going to win him this game. The one Immortal probably should consider going back, but
yeah, that's a very eager Immortal right there.
Even if he loses it, I don't think it's going to matter.
The pylons are already gone at the front, and that's a
GG.
And Squirtle, he is losing another game, and Trap with 2 wins in this group, looking really solid.
It was a very strong Blink play. and he definitely could have taken. You could see how fat. You could see like in the booth how much he's breathing in there because he was so stressed out by that. The force field was really nice, really liked that, but he didn't kill the Immortal in the main. And eventually, when that Immortal gets all of its shields back, it's got a lot of DPS. Squirtle, of course, very frustrated with how the game went. Well executed, but the defensive trap was just too good. The micro on those Immortals was insane.
Yeah, that was really well done. He saved most of them, and that game could have gone completely different if not for those Immortal saves there. The PvP over with, and now we have a this is starting to shape up a really interesting group now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I do not know exactly what kind of match order we have. Apparently, there was a little bit of a change because of what we had earlier, but DRG is gonna play the next game.
Yep, DRG.
I think this is the game that he has to play against Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually.
Okay.
But
I'm fantasy there. Fantasy is shown now. Yeah, with the order was changed, doesn't affect, of course, the outcome of the group. If DRG wins this, he is through. We talked about this earlier.
You know, interesting enough is like before the last game happened, there could have been a tiebreaker. So a win against Yu-Gi-Oh! Would have not necessarily, win against Fantasy would have brought him into the WCS Premier League next season against win against Yu-Gi-Oh! Not just yet. But with the results that we have right now, if DRG wins one of the last 2 remaining games that he has to play today, then he is in the Premier League.
Guangali Beach is our map here. And that could actually lead us to a very short game. Would not put it past Fantasy to do a tricky move here. Try to go for double barracks proxy, even an 8 Reaper barracks. Absolutely good see on this map. No players really like to play on this map. It's a map that's been very controversial and discussed. It looks cool. Players just don't care about what the map looks like. And would not be surprised to see one or both of these players do a very aggressive strategy. It's very hard to play the late game, especially as Zerg on this map.
Yeah, I've not seen a single player tell me that he really loves to play on Guangali Beach.
Yeah, certainly not. Definitely nobody has ever said that. We'll see if DRG can keep his cool here and take that last win that he needs for Fantasy. Of course, this is a really important match as well.
Also, something to keep in mind is that so far DRG, of course, only had to play one matchup. He only had to play against Protoss, and that's the matchup that he really enjoys lately. So we're going into his first Zerg versus Terran today. Let's see what he can do here, or if Fantasy is able to win his 3rd game of the day. Get GOMTV.